Hey guys, what's going on? Colin here, jumping in at the top of this episode to hit you with a little bit of information. As always, appreciate you guys listening, whether it's our Patreon, our Bad Crystal, Breaking Bad podcast, the main feed. Any listeners are very appreciated. We always appreciate you guys' support. But this episode is a little bit different. What we've decided to do is take some of our episodes from our Patreon. That's patreon.com/midnight double feature. And we're going to rotate them on this main feed that's kind of dormant for, every now and then we're going to rotate one out. So it'll stay for a little while and then it'll be gone. And that's something you can only access on our Patreon. That's $5 a month. It's called The Green Room. We have hundreds of episodes up there now. Obviously, like if you join now, you're getting a lot of episodes right off the rip. I think there's over like 100. It's the only place really we cover movies now too. This main feed has kind of been a little dormant, just between our Patreon and the Bad Crystal podcast, and then our Sopranos podcast coming up called The Sting of Ours. We've been busy bees, and we put a pause on the main feed for now, but it's something that we may come back to later on. But for now, we're putting out our Patreon episodes on a rotational basis to kind of drive people to check out our patreon.com/midnight double feature. Obviously, we're always going to be covering stuff. The Patreon's always going to be up, and we would appreciate any and everybody's support. We're also real big on our Discord right now. The link to that should be somewhere in the show notes. So if you want to join the Discord and you want to check out and become a member of that, that is growing like wildfire right now. We're having a lot of people show up towards the Discord. So definitely come and check it out. Check out our Patreon, and we'll appreciate you guys. We'll see you next one. Bye-bye. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Green Room, your one and only spot for all things bonus for Midnight Double Feature. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for coming along. As always, the Whistler. No, I'm Whistler. You're definitely Blade. Zoheb Ali. How you doing?
Why is that? Why am I Blade? Why would you say it like that, Colin?
Because I'm old.
I'm good, dude. I'm good, dude. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm an old retired country singer who fights vampires now. No, I'm
you're dead.
Yeah,
Are you saying that I don't pay taxes, bitch?
That's exactly what I'm saying. No, I'm excited to be here and talking about Blade because we haven't. I mean, technically MCU. I mean, it's canon now. After so many years, yeah. I mean, he's technically part of the MCU now, so I'm like, that's kind of cool. But as always, before we start,
did you see Goya? Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Just throw you off like immediately. David Goya, like last week, I think, was just like, oh yeah, like that was. I was like totally like surprised when he rocked up in like Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's
I was
cool.
Just like,
good for
what
him.
What the fuck just happened?
Yeah, good for man. David S. Goyer, what a career.
Wow,
but
legend.
Yeah, but yeah, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the show with your hard-earned money. We've been wanting to talk about this for a while, actually. And I think that it's an interesting movie to talk about, not only because of Deadpool and Wolverine, but just, what I want to kind of get into is like its place in like the MCU is, not super important, but it's worth talking about. And then I think also like the movie itself, but its place in, like I really struggle to think of like a pre-Blade MCU film. Like, I don't know if there really is one. Maybe like the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie from 1990. But I'm like, dude, I mean, that's like, I can't really think of like modern MCU. I think this is like the genesis of that. Like, and I'm super excited to get into it as well. But what's your history with Blade, and like what do you think its place is and like the whole like thing of the MCU?
Yeah. So I think like when we say MCU, it like this movie has a weird place in the MCU because it obviously is in the MCU given his appearance in Deadpool and Wolverine,
Hmm.
but then like it's also not in the MCU. Like
Yeah.
it's just a standalone Marvel movie. Um,
It's
you
like your
know,
dad had a
well,
second family and he's like a kid from the first one. And you're like, he's not
right,
really a part of us, but he is
right.
technically
But
related.
it's made by New Line. Like it was like at like that time of the Stan Lee was like kind of selling all these characters just to like
Hmm.
keep Marvel from bankruptcy, etc., etc. Um, but Kevin Feige, like, attributes this movie as like the true like birth of like Marvel, like in
Nice.
film, and like,
I agree.
yeah, I don't, yeah, and I don't think that there is anything that does come before this. I mean, you do have like, yeah, like you said, like the old, Fantastic Four movie or the old Captain America movie, like, but
Hmm.
like those were just not taken seriously in terms of productions. Like it wasn't until this, and then it wasn't until X-Men a couple of years later that it was like, oh, we're running, we're like
Right.
actually like running away with this now.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige didn't have anything to do with this movie, but then he was obviously one of the associate producers of X-Men. He was super young at the time.
That's crazy. I didn't know that because that
Yeah.
he went that
Oh,
far
didn't you?
back. Like, no, I had no
Dude,
idea.
he's in the credits, like the opening credits, and you just see the name Kevin Feige,
That's
and you're
nuts.
just like, holy shit. So yeah, man, like this would be the birth, and like I don't think that he gets enough credit for that. I don't think that he gets enough flowers for
Hmm.
like actually being like the, oh shit, we're gonna start like this huge run of comic book movies. Um, and I have my thoughts about this movie, and I'll get into them. But like we don't appreciate how right they got this movie,
Mm.
like in terms of just like how early it was in
Hmm.
the in the scope of like like superhero slash Marvel
Yeah.
things. Like, you know what I mean? Like this could have been like Elektra. You know what I mean? Like they could
Hmm.
have like completely misunderstood the character completely.
Hmm.
But like some part of them, whether it was Wesley Snipes is like because apparently he was like super committed to like
Yeah.
really bringing this on screen, and he did produce the movie as well, and he was just like really really committed to like just getting this out there. And but not only that, like this was like financially this cost $45 million, but like worldwide it made like $180 million, and it's an R-rated superhero movie led by a black man,
Yeah.
which in the late 90s, just what an aberration.
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't get its flowers for it. And like when people do talk about like the superhero movie, obviously people look at Superman the movie, and then the '89 Tim Burton Batman movie. Sure, those are definitely like pioneers of the superhero genre. But for Marvel, like like and like for a character so obscure, like everyone knows who Superman was, everyone knows who Batman was. Did people know who Blade was back in the late '90s?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
So I mean, like, and he certainly wasn't a household name. So like, taking that gamble, like New Line taking that gamble and like putting him out there and just like being as huge of a success as it was, yeah, like it's just something you're really gonna stop and be like, damn, like that's crazy that happened.
Hmm.
It's crazy that it happened two more times, and then it's crazy that Marvel can't seem to crack the code today. Like the with its rebooted Blade with Mahershala Ali that was announced so many years ago. All these directors have dropped out. All these writers have dropped out. It's currently like stalled, so like no one knows where it is.
Yeah. It's in like development
Um,
hell.
and it's just like how, I mean, we just want to see a black dude with a fucking jacket and sunglasses with a sword killing vampires.
They come out, they're
What
like,
else do you need, man?
Chris Pratt is Blade. And I'm like, all right.
Don't wish it into the world, man.
Yeah, I was
Don't
gonna say,
manifest it.
then it ends up happening.
Personally, man, I hope Mahershala stays on because I thought that was like some pretty great casting. I love Mahershala
Yeah.
Ali.
Yeah.
Like he's got the toughness, but also the softness as well. So I'm a big fan of his. Sorry, I'm a bit sniffly today.
No,
But in terms of this movie, I don't love it.
Really?
I think it's good. I really have a great time watching it. But like the first half for me always has me.
Mhm.
And then it kind of like just takes a bit of a nosedive, like when we get to the underground Karate Kid dojo,
Yeah.
thing. I don't know, man. Like it hasn't aged super well. I mean, did they use the same effects company as Spawn? Like
yeah, it does
just-
kind of feel like Spawn, and not just because the lead's black. Like, there's definitely like a Spawn kind of feeling to this movie.
yeah.
I'd say it's a like, because I mean, Spawn definitely is like a holy shit, this is bad, but like it's so good because I loved it as a kid. But Blade, like as an adult, I do think has like it's got some wear and tear, but hell, it's just 3 years older than 9/11. Like, so when you think about it, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's aged. It's such a weird way to market, but it feels like
Blade.
This is
older than 9/11.
This is 9/11's older brother.
Yeah, this was
yeah. I just pictured some horribly racist guy who's like, yeah, the first time that movie came out, that was my 9/11. We're like, all right. But no, I think sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, I think it's it's worn and torn in some spots, but I think it's still pretty damn good for the most part.
No, like don't get me wrong, man. Like the actual the world building and like the way that it's already established that when we start the movie, Blade and Whistler are already aware of Deacon Frost. They're already chasing him.
Mhm.
Like the way that we kind of like start the story is like, oh, we're already in it. We're just thrown into it. Like we don't have to establish. I mean, yes, they do establish Blade's origin story a little bit here at the beginning,
Right.
with Sanaa Lathan's character, but like it's just like all like it's all told to you as it goes. As the movie progresses, it's not like one giant flashback of like, here's Deacon Frost biting like Sanaa Lathan, and like I'm glad that it doesn't do that. Like I think like in terms of just like innovating like the kind of storytelling or like where like because after this is like the boom of superhero movies, and then it's like you get origin story after origin story after origin story, and I don't think this movie gets enough credit for kind of like not doing that. Like it's just like, let's just make this a big chase movie where our characters are chasing Deacon Frost, and but I think it's solid. It loses me towards the end. I think Wesley Snipes was born to play Blade. I mean, like I don't think that I don't think it's any contest. I'm a big fan of the second one. I like the second one quite a bit. The one that's directed by Del Toro, starring Ron Perlman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love the third one. Like,
oh no,
like the
with Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have. I wish I did, but I don't have much of a connection to this movie. I like, or to this franchise rather. So like, the first time I saw this movie was probably only about like 3 years ago.
That's crazy.
Which is like, because I remember going to like Blockbuster when I was younger, and I was like, "Oh, Dad, can we rent Blade 2 and Blade 3? The first one just looks too old." I'm just
That's
like,
nuts.
oh god damn it! Like, I wish I hadn't done that. Like, but it is just one of those things that I did as a kid. Like, as a kid, you just assume that the sequels are just newer and like therefore better, but that's just not true. That's so illogical.
Mhm.
So yeah, I didn't get to see this until like probably about 2-3 years ago.
That's crazy.
I had seen Blade 2 when I was younger. It gave me nightmares. And I did see Blade
That's the one
Trinity.
with
I
like the
think like when it
face
came,
fucking vampires, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
That the ones that actually eat or kill vampires. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then like Blade Trinity, I saw when it came out on DVD as a kid, and I remember as a kid not loving it. I remember like the first like scene, like they're going to like Egypt or like they're going under a pyramid looking for like Dracula. The first thing that they do is like they just flip off the sun, and I'm just like, come on, man, come on.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It's the guy from Prison Break that plays Dracula in that movie, Dominic Purcell.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's not a good movie. But anyway, sorry. Yes. So I'm not the biggest fan of this movie as everyone else is. I think it's just because I don't have as much of a connection to it. But I love that. I love the cult following that this movie has kind of like garnered. Like everyone loves this movie, dude, and I'm just like, you know what? I can totally see it. Like I can totally see why people love this movie. Because of just like everything that it kicked off, and just how underappreciated it was, and the narrative structure and how good Wesley Snipes is. So yeah, talk to me about your how'd you come across Blade?
I honestly, uh, I can't say for sure when. I feel like this is one of those things that like, uh, maybe dad or somebody rented and brought home and we didn't realize like, holy shit, this is rated R. Um, And like this would have been a rated R movie that I probably could have watched as a kid because it's not like there's no sex in it. Like there's violence, but it's like violence to monsters. So like my it would have
Yes, yeah.
just gone under the radar in my house because we grew up like watching Fright Night and Monster Squad and Silver Bullet shit like that. Um, but yeah, I think you're exactly right. Like the first half of this movie is in my head how movies look. And I've only said that about like a couple of movies of like, that's how my brain looks at like the first half of this movie looks like John Carpenter action horror flick.
Oh yeah.
I
Yes.
like it looks like James Cameron and John Carpenter had a baby and it's the first 40 minutes of Blade because it's fucking, I mean, the second half, it just gets a little bit more, I don't know, because there's this exciting like mystery to what's going on in the first half, and when everything gets kind of explained, you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's not like I think the Vampire Civil War is actually a little bit more interesting to me than the plot of like
Yeah, I was very much into that too, dude. The
this
whole
is
like Game of Thrones politics stuff of it.
well, yeah, and this is like basically the plot of Hellboy of like, yeah, we're just gonna bring about this god, and
Dude,
it's like, I mean,
yes.
that's the plot to so many things, Um,
Yeah.
fucking Donald Logue as Quinn is like, I would love to see like him and what's his name, Bill Paxton from Near Dark, like hang out, like they did. Like I get the Bill Paxton Near Dark kind of vibe, but I love.
You know what? Looking at him now, you've got some Donald Logue kind of qualities, dude.
Oh yeah, I see it
You got it.
around. He's probably around my age at this time, and I think if I
Yeah.
had red hair and pigtails, yeah, I would probably rock a Donald Lowe. We call him Lonald Dogue every time he comes on TV. We're like Lonald Dogue. But I love, man, I have grown up with this guy. Like he
Oh,
was in
really?
a sitcom that we watched. Lindsay and I watched this kid's called Grounded for Life, and then he's in Zodiac. He's in I don't know how much shit, dude. Like Donald Logue is all over
I know
Gotham.
him.
Like
Yeah, well, I know him mostly from his TV stuff. The first time I think I saw him was Sons of Anarchy. Like
yeah,
he was in Sons of Anarchy for a
he's in
bit.
Sense. God damn, dude, I forget how much
Yeah.
stuff he's in. Um, but yeah, I ended up really enjoying the movie as a whole, but I definitely get the vibe of like the first half being better. I think that like what you said, Wesley Snipes is pretty much perfect for this. I think I heard it was either him or Denzel in the 90s who was up for Chikala, and that Wesley Snipes really wanted Black Panther, and I think it fell through, and he ended up getting Blade. But that might just be like Hollywood rumor bullshit, that people heard forever.
I,
Um,
I think you're right. Like because it was Denzel and it was Lawrence Fishburne. And at
Mm.
one point, LL Cool J was like, "I want to do it too."
Mm.
Can you imagine
It's
LL
like
Cool
that
J
Family
being
Guy. Like, no,
fucking Blade, dude?
no, not you. Or where he like shoos him out of the room, like shoos him off. Yeah,
You have,
yeah,
dude. Can you imagine, dude? You have like the epic three of Wesley Snipes, Denzel Washington, Lawrence Fishburne, and then LL Cool J's like, "Yo,
yeah.
what about me?"
Right. Yeah. It's that's mine because it's like when I think of LL Cool J, I think of like Deep Blue Sea. I think of like
Deep Blue
schlocky,
Sea,
you
yeah.
know, like not great stuff.
My head is like a shark's fin. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think before I saw this, I knew Blade because there was a Spider-Man cartoon when I was a kid. And I think it came out like 94 or 95. And I think Blade was in it. Because he has like the helmet and he has a motorcycle and it's a whole thing with like Morbius. So that's why I knew who like Morbius was and Blade and like a lot of these like Spider-Man characters was from that amazing 90s. It was like Batman the Animated Series for Spider-Man. Like it was incredible. And I loved it as a kid. But so I remember seeing Blade in that cartoon and then seeing the movie and being like, this is fucking awesome. And I think that how the movie goes about I think that the fact that the movie cast somebody like Wesley Snipes, which like you mentioned is like, dude, a black male superhero lead in 90. This came out in 98. They're filming this in 97. Probably got greenlit in 96 or something. It's like, holy shit. Like to think about 96 being like, yeah, we're going to put a black male and a vampire superhero lead is like such a fucking gamble. But I love the fact that like, even though that's important, it doesn't really have anything to do with the movie. The movie, I don't really feel like is trying to say anything like super important on, like you can interpret film any way that you want. Right. But there's no like, you know, and I think that's like one of my favorite things about these kind of movies are when it's like, I love seeing like the representation of different people, but it also being in real, just not a huge focal point like all the time and being just like, it's just a badass movie. And I love that. Especially like growing up because there was like Blade, Black Panther, and Static Shock. And that's like all the black superheroes basically that were like in Storm from the X-Men. That was basically it. So for him to get his own movie and starring Wesley Snipes, who was, I mean, probably I'll say it. He's probably at the peak of his powers in 97 because he's doing like White Men Can't Jump and shit in the 80s. And then he's done.
Oh, dude.
Well, I mean,
such a good movie.
He's done Demolition Man.
Well, I mean, like
this,
he was like executive decision and shit. Like,
right? Yeah.
Was he an executive decision?
U.S. Marshals, maybe. I think it's U.S. Marshals.
U.S. Marshals. Yeah.
And then like there's some movie where he's
57.
on a. Yes, that's it. Yes, it's Passenger 57.
Yes.
So he's at the prime.
Like I mean, like if you think about it, dude, we don't get another superhero black-led superhero movie until for 20 years after this.
That's crazy.
Like Black Panther doesn't come around until like 2017, something like that.
Yeah, well, and I think that it's also like sometimes you forget about because I was just googling it because I was like, man, I feel like there was something before this, and there was Spawn the year before this, but there was the Shaq movie Steel. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, dude, yes, I have. It is awful,
dude. There is a like because he has a Black Alfred basically. I can't remember the guy's name, but it's like there's like an older man who helps him, and at one point he's fighting towards the end of the movie, and it cuts to his like mentor's face, and he goes, "I'll be dipped in shit and rolled in breadcrumbs." It is fucking. I was like. And I was like, that is fucking insane. And it's in a kid's movie, but it's loose. The film is very loosely based on DC Comics character John Steele. So like, I love Steele. I love Spawn. I love Blade. But yeah, you're right. It's like, I mean, God, I think after that you don't get anything till like Halle Berry and X-Men, and even then she's kind of a footnote in that movie,
And she's understood to be miscast. Like everyone's just like, why is Halle in this movie?
Yeah, well, and
everyone's just like, come on, man.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The next black led superhero film is probably Hancock. So yeah, basically we don't have one for 20 years.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean like
Hancock fucking
Big
terrible.
Willie style ain't yeah. It's not good. I like Peter Berg as the director, but
I bit off more than I could chew. Then I chew it. Have you seen that?
Yes.
I showed that
Yes,
to
I have.
Lindsay and she's dead. She died of cringe. It was awful. I'm sorry. That was like,
sometime I'ma act bizarre.
Dude,
I'm just
that was like-
what the fuck is happening, dude?
that is 100% one
He's
of those
got like
moments.
AI crowds and shit,
Dude.
What
It's like sometimes I don't know. I just see something and you see somebody, that famous do something, and I really do want to sit down with Will Smith and just be like, hey, it's okay, man. It's all right. It's okay. Like most, I feel like most of the internet is behind Will Smith. They're like, dude, you've been treated pretty poorly, but you're acting fucking
is that
weird.
true? I don't think so.
I
Well,
don't-
yeah. I mean, like, I think everything that I've seen is like, this is fucking cringe.
Oh
Like,
yeah. No, I think that what he's doing is cringe, but I think also like, if Will Smith was like a woman and and the role were reversed and he was Jada Pinkett, I'd be like, oh, that's a hardcore abusive like relationship. Like you were cheated on and used
I
for
get what you're saying.
content.
Yes.
So like that guy's mental state can't be fantastic,
Oh.
but at the same time, it's
Dude.
like, yeah, but you're doing some weird shit, dude. You're hitting people and like you gotta calm down. Like you're acting nuts.
Do you remember? I think sometime in COVID, Jada Pinkett went on that talk show and she's like, basically admitted to like just cheating on Will.
Yeah.
And she used the word entanglement.
To his face.
I got into an entanglement, and like
Yeah.
Will's just like nodding, like, and I'm like, what kind of bullshit, cuck, weird shit is this?
That's what I'm saying, and I'm like, dude, brother, if you just
But-
chilled out, I think and like, there's been times Jada Pinkett has started filming him, and he goes, I don't really want to be filmed right now. And she's like, this is the foolishness I'm talking about. And I'm like, he's asking you not to record him. Like, that's kind of fucked up.
And look, have you actually seen Jada Pinkett? I mean, come on, man. Like, I mean, there were rumors that he was banging Margot Robbie on the set of Suicide Squad. I mean, like, I know
Good for
that
him.
probably didn't happen, but like, I mean,
I hope it did. I hope it
like
did.
for Jada, come on, man. You're Will Smith, dude.
I'm going to laugh when like an hour later it comes out, Jada Pinkett Smith is Blade. And you're like, all right. No, but no,
Oh,
back to the
shit.
movie. I think that the way that a lot of this, because we've talked about kind of like the cultural impact of it with like MCU and like black-led superhero movies, but I think like just as it stands alone as like a film, I think that like we talked about, the first half is incredibly good, and the second half gets a little bit, because you get weighed down by story, and like there's just there's only so many ways the story can go at that point. But as far as like it's like a horror action superhero film, and I'm like, I can't say that we have like a lot of those. I can't say we have a lot of superhero films that cross the threshold into like horror. And if like, I think that this, especially like the blobby fucking guy, like that was like, holy shit, this movie's getting gross, man.
Dude,
like this is getting
Pearl?
fucking nuts. Yeah, Pearl. I was like, this is getting
So-
crazy.
It's so funny you say this because I feel like you and I are kind of like, yes, we are sort of like ships in the night with this movie, but just barely, because for me, everything you're saying applies to Hellboy. So Hellboy for me was this movie for you, because like it was this like horror action movie.
Yeah, I love Hellboy.
With like that. Yeah, same. That really like subverted like your expectations, because like Hellboy is also another one of those like weird comic book adaptations where you're
Mhm.
just like, what is this, man? How did this get made? Like, it's obviously Del Toro and it's weird and it's fantastical, but like it's also just so strange. Like it's just a strange movie to be made at the time that it was. So
Mhm.
like, and in terms of genre, like you're saying, it does have like a horror take on it, because don't forget that movie is all about like Nazis.
yeah,
And, like,
Rasputin
that dude-
and
that-
Elder Gods.
That dude, he has to crank that fucking thing like to keep him going with the sword hands and shit.
Uh-huh. Ape
um,
Sapien, fucking Niles from
Yeah,
Frasier.
but it's full of like action as well. So it is like this weird action horror. But like that was the movie that I ended up watching more and had more of a connection with than Blade. But I was sorry to throw you off, but like
No.
I was thinking about this. Like I was thinking about this as I was watching Blade. I was just like, man, like Blade and Hellboy, like thematically are very similar, and like the way that they came out are very similar. Like what they're about is very similar, and I'm just like, I mean, like, and then like you also have the Del Toro connection with Blade 2. So I don't know. I'm just like, what? Like, I feel like they're both like sibling movies, if that makes sense.
No, I totally get that because they're similar in plot of like these people basically trying to summon, all powerful deities in their favor and stuff. And I love Hellboy
And it's
because
like
it's
secret societies and stuff. And
Yes.
it's just like, dude, like what? Like these two are very similar. But
that world that kind of like lurks under the surface.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I've probably seen Hellboy more. I think I would say I even like Hellboy as a whole better than Blade, but that first half of Blade is just so like, dude, is this a James Cameron
it's
movie?
great.
Because this looks incredible, and the set design and one person we haven't talked about is Steven Dorff. I fucking hate this guy. I cannot stand him.
Oh, do you?
He is Kevin Bacon light. He is diet Kevin Bacon, and I don't. I can't fucking stand him. There's something about him that like he is the most aged thing in this movie. I feel like he is one of the worst parts to me of like everything else. Like there's not a pager in this movie. There's not a, hey, get off the phone because I have to get on the internet. Like there's none of that shit. Like this movie is actually aged pretty well for the most part. There's nothing in it where it's like, hold on, I have to send a telegram. It's like nothing like that. But him and his spiky fucking head and shit, it's just like, I'm like, yeah, this guy, you would just swap him out with like Dane Cook, like kind of shit of just like this. This is like anybody from this kind of like era of spiky haired, bad guys. I actually heard a story. What's the guy's name? That's in Entourage. He got popped for Jeremy Piven.
Yes.
Jeremy Piven got canceled and stuff, rightfully so, from what I've heard. But what I heard was, I guess Jeremy Piven was standing in line to take a piss, and all these people are at a club waiting, and Steven Dorff just walks past everybody into the bathroom, and Jeremy Piven grabs him by the collar and pulls him back, and he's like, no, get in fucking line. And he's like, all right, and got in line, and he's like, fuck you, dude. He's like, if I'm standing in line, I'm Jeremy Piven. You're fucking standing in line. You're Steven Dorff. Like, eat my ass.
That's funny as I know that like Jeremy Piven got, I think it's semi-cancelled. I think on the level of like maybe James Franco, maybe a bit less, but like he still makes me laugh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I love
Jeremy
the goods,
Piven makes
dude.
me fucking laugh, dude.
I
love Entourage. I love Entourage,
dude. He has a great where he has like I think he has two gay guys get married at his house, but they hoist them up on the chairs and they're wearing yarmulkes and they're like, they're not Jewish. He goes, my house, my fucking God. And I'm like, that is so funny, dude. That's always made me laugh. But I just think Steven Dorff kind of sucks. I like he is, but he's also being outshone by like everybody in this movie: Donald Logue, Wesley Snipes, Chris Christopherson, and I am gonna butcher her fucking name, but I know I'm gonna. I'm just gonna say Mbushi, right? I think that sounds right.
as Karen Johnson,
yeah.
The Doctor.
Yeah. She's fantastic in this movie to me. Because it's like, yeah, at first you are kind of like, this movie's only so progressive. There's definitely a damsel in distress kind of like thing, but she becomes like an agent of her own. She ends up saving Blade and like pulling herself out of this pit. And I'm like, cool, awesome, I like it.
Dude. When she gets thrown into the Rancor fucking pit at Jabba's palace and she gets out so quickly, dude. I was like, good for you, man. Like, good fucking. You know what? Luke Skywalker can learn some fucking things from you, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, and it's like, and I like the fact that she grabs that bone and just starts like pulling her. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Also, that to me might be one of the most terrifying parts of the movie when she gets thrown down here and poor fucking bastard.
That's her mate.
Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, I know this guy was a little pushy at work. He wasn't great. But I mean, to leave him in a pit, basically blind and deaf and being like, nah, for the rest of his life is pretty fucked up. Like, that's
Dude, the makeup and
crazy.
shit like looks sick down there. Like, I think maybe because it's obscured by like darkness and like the mist or fog, whatever the fuck's down there, but like it looks so good. Can we also just like mention briefly? I know I do want to get into the movie a bit more proper. Like, I know we're kind of giving our sort of like high level thoughts here. But I mean, like, obviously we have to talk about the blood rave sequence.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the sequence that everyone turns to as like, this is the best opening of all time. And I'm
Mhm.
like, holy shit, I think you may be right. I
It's
think
pretty
you
good.
may be right. Tracy Lords is in this movie at the
Oh,
beginning.
yeah.
Just straight up, like, I don't know why you're in this. I mean, there's no dicks in this movie, but
Yeah,
you
shows
know,
up to get her
just-
head blown off. That's about it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, let's talk about the blood rave, dude.
Yeah, because I think that what kicked it off for me is we were like, oh, let's watch like some spooky stuff because we have like Halloween coming up, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to watch the whole thing, but I'm going to pull this movie up, and we watched the first like 10 minutes from where Donald Logue like escapes through the ambulance after he falls through it, and Lindsay was like, that's fucking awesome. She's like, that's a Marvel movie. I'm like, technically, yes, he's related to us, kind of semi, but like not really.
It's more New Line. It's more like a New Line movie,
Right.
I mean,
It's like it's technically canon now, but it hasn't been for a long time.
right.
But she was like, yeah, that's and for a Marvel movie or like what you expect now, you know, for a Marvel movie, like that's
Yeah.
crazy that came out in the 90s. And so I think we ended up renting it or buying it and watching the whole thing. But the beginning of that, I will probably like I really strain to think of a better superhero like opening scene. Maybe one of the Guardians of the Galaxies, you know, maybe one of those like where he's like dancing in the thing, like, and it's for
I really
totally
like the first one.
yeah, that one's pretty cool. But I'm trying to think of like an opening scene to a superhero film that's better than Blade, and I would have to really. I'm sure you could find one or something that's on par.
I don't love this movie that I'm about to say, but I love the opening. Maybe I'm gonna catch shit for this, but Man of Steel has a great opening, dude. Like when they're at Krypton.
Yeah. That is actually
Yeah.
because like I would watch that movie 100%.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yes,
Russell
dude,
Crowe as
100%.
Jor-El. Like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's actually a really good pull.
Yeah, that was just the one that first came to mind. And like I think, you know, Iron Man is kind of like iconic now as having like that opening of the Humvees getting blown up and
Mhm.
good God, you're a woman. You know, like just
yeah.
immediately setting the tone of the entire MCU in one scene.
Yeah.
Like but I mean in terms of just like visceral, like, because this scene, this blood rave scene isn't just visually a solid scene. It lays out so much in terms of storytelling. Like it lays out like, okay, there is a cabal of like vampires living in this city. They're all like very secretive. They lure people into their, you know, situations sometimes to feed on them. Obviously, we know that this is Deacon Frost's like nightclub, and he gets reprimanded by the actual like committee or like the actual council of vampires. But like, I mean, but the arrival of Blade is just so striking. Like, you know, and then like you get the action, dude. The way he pulls out the shotgun, like everything
Mhm.
here is just it is purely like 90s cinema. And I'm just like, yeah, like like Blade just arriving on scene, like the shot of like his boots first, you know,
Mhm.
and then it's just like, oh,
Wow.
fuck. Right.
Like, yeah.
And then like it's not even like and then dude, like speaking of storytelling, his reputation precedes him.
Mhm.
Because they're all like, oh, it's the Daywalker, like,
Yeah.
you know, like he's got this like claim to fame already amongst like the vampires, and it's just like, oh, you're already established as Blade, Like you're ready to go. We're kicking this movie off running. You know.
Well, and
It's
I
good
love the
stuff.
fact that like there's the visual aspect of it of like everybody being covered in the red, and like the dude with the one vampire with the blue eyes is the one that always sticks out when they do that crazy frame rate jitter when this homeboy's getting lost. This poor fucking bastard, because like if you go back and you watch when they're walking through, he's like, "What is that?" And it's 100% human bodies in bags, like on hooks, being moved in the background, and he's like,
Oh, that's
"What
cool.
is that?" And she starts making out with him to kind of like, distract him. But yeah, this when this guy gets down there and you see like the girl in all white, she's like Drew Barrymore from Batman Forever, like a Romanian Drew Barrymore in this. But yeah, she kind of ends up knocking him around, and then Brad Dourif, Deacon Frost, fucking stupid name. That goes right up there with Memphis Reigns. Deacon Frost is pretty bad. Like it's pretty awful.
I'll give them Deacon Frost because it's a comic book name. Like,
Fair.
you know what I mean? Whereas like Memphis Reigns has that gets no quarter from me, dude. No quarter.
That's a real man walking around with that name. Like, yeah, my name's Bless the Reigns down in Africa.
Is this Smack My Bitch Up? This is where they play the music, right? The Smack
Yes.
My Bitch Up.
I don't know
Yeah.
100%. It sounds like it. This would have been perfect, I think. Right, this would have been pretty much when that song was massive.
Right. Because Charlie's Angels did it a couple years later as well. I remember that.
And this was like the and I do like, and I think this part of film for me is so nostalgic because that's when you really start, like, I mean, when you gain like sentience, like 6-7 years old, and you're like, oh shit, like I'm a whole fuck. And then you start watching movies and kind of understanding them more. And I would have caught this really early on. And my dad and I would go see a lot of these. I don't think I saw this in theaters because it was rated R. They probably brought it home and like watched it with us. But we would, we saw like Ghost Rider and the first Eric Bana, and then the Fantastic Four movies, like the old school ones. But yeah, the beginning of this just feels like, man, yeah, that excitement for how movies used to look, and like I really, really do like miss movies looking like this.
I completely agree.
I
know exactly what you're about to say. It's not this digital, overdone sort of like super produced look. It's very raw, and like even though we're seeing this guy like chop up like vampires who turn into dust. Like it still is this like very visceral feeling. Like you can see the grain in the film. Like, it's not. I think I honestly think like a lot of it has to do with because it's shot on film. Like I think that's just a lot. Because dude, it's so funny, man. I was talking to someone about this, the same exact thing. Like Happy Gilmore looks the way it does. It's not a gorgeous movie, Happy Gilmore, but I mean, like, there is something very nostalgic about it in the way that it's there's something very nostalgic in the way that it looks, and then like you watch Happy Gilmore 2 and it looks like it was made by AI. Like it looks so glossy and overproduced, and it's like, why do movies look like this these days?
Right.
It's so crazy that you said that, because I was thinking about that like earlier this week.
No,
Can we also talk about how? No, go.
Oh no, there's a great. It's on YouTube. I think it's about Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they swapped from when from standard to HD, and like what sitcoms lost, and like go to Hulu and watch something from the first few seasons of Always Sunny and swap to the new ones, and it's like. Yeah. And I want to say even Charlie Day on their podcast was like, I regret that we swapped like to HD, and they're like, are you still talking about this? He's like, yeah, I am. And it was like, even though it was 15 years later, he was like, I wish we had stayed with like standard how it looks. I'm like, yeah, I kind of do too. And like, I can't tell if that's just because I'm getting older or if that's what my eye what objectively looks better, but it's what I prefer, whatever the reasons are. It's like, I want film to look like film, absolutely. But I think like, something like Django Unchained, like that looks like film to me. Like that still looks incredible, and I miss that.
Can we also talk about how much of a funny fucker Blade is, dude? Like in this opening scene, like, dude, the fist pump, and then like with that little smile that he does when he pulls out that blade and throws it around the room, like he's charming. Like, you know, like Wesley immediately establishes the charm of Blade. And it's just like,
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to see more adventures of this guy, dude.
when,
Like,
when
he's
the
already
cops
fully
shoot him,
formed.
motherfucker, have you lost your mind?
Dude, it's so good
just
how
run
high
away.
pitched it is. It's so
Yeah.
fucking good.
I love, and the cops just run. They go like, huh, and they just literally run down the hallway after he yells at them. And
Right.
shout out to the I don't know if you've ever used the Internet Archive, but that's how this movie's on the Internet Archive for free. So I was like, oh, cool. So I watched the whole, and then like the making of and special features. And I was like, oh, shout out to the Internet Archive doing the Lord's work. But yeah, no, the beginning of this movie is just so, because you see this, you kind of get the feeling something's not right. You know, they're talking like Russian to each other, and he's like, hey, where are we going? Are there bodies in the background? And then once the blood starts dropping down, and like, man, this poor fucking dude, just like, oh my God, like what is going on? And I think
Doorman. The doorman might be the most Slavic looking guy I've ever seen in my life. Was this guy in GTA 4?
Yeah. I was gonna say this guy.
Shit.
I think this guy's Ivan in GTA 4, or he's oh, what was I gonna say? He's this guy has been in like 3 Taken movies, and it's like yeah. It's definitely one of the.
That's definitely the guy. I think I saw him standing behind Putin in one of those videos.
Yeah, hey, Steven Seagal's bodyguard. But yeah, the beginning of this is just absolutely iconic, and but what I like, as much as I love the beginning of this, like even what this leads to, getting to the hospital and then like the shootout and Donald Logue. Like, I know we're not like jumping into this like scene by scene proper, but like. I think my favorite shot of the whole movie is Donald Logue running out of the back of the ambulance I was like, I still like get kind of like, oh man, when I see him, that one-armed fucking ginger, like running burnt to a crisp, running down that back alley. And I'm like, that is how, like, that honestly creeps me out. And it takes a lot for anything in a movie to like scare me, but there's something about seeing Donald Logue run down that alley in the middle of the night, like that is fucking terrifying to me, and I don't know what it is. And I think that like the whole scene's like built after this, of like they take him in, you think he's dead. I think most people have probably figured out that they're vampires at this point, you know. But they think that Donald Logue is dead, and when he pops up and bites her is fucking like, oh my God. And you have this like black, like crispy charcoal vampire with one arm and these like super blue eyes. And I'm like, dude, you could, that'd be a great cosplay. Like just some guy with one arm walking around with like blue contacts and burnt to a crisp. I think the whole opening of this is just incredible, of him jumping out the window, landing in the ambulance, and the ambulance screaming at that woman and then running out the back of it is so goddamn good. I was like, that like hook, line, and sinker. Like that 100% has me pulled in, and I get a boner every time I see him run out of that ambulance. Like, oh man, that's fucking scary.
It's good stuff, man. Like the way that he goes through the ceiling of the ambulance too, and just the shaky cam of it all is
yes.
Yeah, it's intense. I gotta tell you, man, that fucking jump scare when he pops up for the first time, I was like, "Oh, what the fuck!" I was drinking like a tea at the time, and I was just like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, that's like some Seven shit. That's like the dude they find with all the air freshener, you know, like that's like some Seven shit.
Yeah.
But when did Seven come out? 94? Is that 96?
97.
97. Okay, so just a year before this. But no,
95. Sorry, Jesus. 7 was
gotcha.
Fight Club.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, like and you know, there's like I said, there's parts of it that haven't like aged super duper well, but I love like the like you said, the real, like when they go and they take that vampire lord out to the beach, and they pull his fangs out, and like you start seeing like the smoke, and you're like, what's going on? And, like you don't really explain it. Or like when she gets bitten and Winchester gives her, or whatever, Winchester or whatever his name is, gives her the shot of the garlic, and you see like the smoke basically come out of her neck. I'm like, that's cool. And it's just like, without even explaining anything, it's a visual medium. Explain it to me visually and I get it. And I'm like, I like that, man. I dig it.
I tell you what, man, when they take this guy Dragonetti, wonder if he's a vampire.
Jesus
when they
Christ.
take Dragonetti out to the the beach, and like they're kind of standing on that rock, and he defangs him, right?
Mhm.
And then like he exposes him to the sun. Obviously the effects are not great, but you know what, man? I fucking love that scene.
Mhm.
I love that scene of him just absolutely getting nuked. Like
Yeah.
nuked by the sun. Because I've never seen, obviously we've got so much like vampire media now, like that we can just like take and we just be like, oh, okay, so this is how they do it in this vampire media. That's how they do it in this vampire media. I've never seen a exposed to the sun sequence quite like this. Like in terms of just like this sun isn't just going to burn you and then like you're just going to like crackle into dust. This is going to be like a nuclear Nagasaki Hiroshima level explosion, and your body is just going to absolutely like decimate. You
Yeah.
know? I love them like pulling the shields of their helmet over as they watch him. There's something just really overly dramatic and operatic about this scene that I just really connected with, dude. I don't know. Even though the effects are awful.
Yeah, well, it's still, and I think for the time, it's very stylish of like the motorcycle helmets, and like it gives like a Kill Bill kind of vibe, like of just these like motorcycle vampire. It's like roaming gangs of motorcycle vampires, which I kind of forgot that that Chris Christopherson dies in this movie, but he actually comes back in the second and third one, which I forgot about.
I forgot about that too. I forgot that I thought he died in the second one because I remember he died in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I
pulled up Blade 2,
know,
and I guess he finds him, rescues him, and gives him a cure for being a vampire. But I'm like, did he not kill himself? Like, okay, whatever, not a big whoop. But yeah, I think that where this movie I think that most of it has stood the test of time. I don't mind the whole thing. Like I said, I think I find it a little bit more interesting of like this vampire civil war, and but also that vampires basically have like an unsteady alliance with humans, that they're like, we can kill all of you. Make no mistake. Like if we wanted to, we could 100% take over. But if we do that, there's no food. Like, so we can't, it's this kind of thing of like, you want to reign supreme, but in order for you to reign supreme, you kind of have to like hurt yourself a little bit, which I think is kind of interesting. It's like an interesting predicament. And I think that there's like the fact that there's a conflict between the vampires and Blade, but then there's also this conflict with like Deacon Frost is pretty cool. Like that it's like a 3-pronged kind of thing. And the subplot is seeing like Deacon Frost's like ascension through that. And it's like, he's basically like vampire Hitler, like he's like out with the old in with the new, like he basically is like Hitler.
So funny you say that. And like, look, I'm not bringing any reality to this movie whatsoever. This movie is just supposed to be exactly what it is. But like, I was thinking about, master race kind of shit. Like, like we are the pure blood. Like we are the, we're the better thing. We're the better species, and we deserve to rule. It reminds me of. Yeah, like Harry Potter, like Voldemort's like whole quest of like
Muggles,
like exactly. Like and it all comes from the idea of like the master race, and like it's, and I think I'm not saying that it was purposeful, but having that as your antagonist's main drive with the black lead is very
Mhm.
interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
Like
very
when
interesting.
he calls Blade, he's like, drop it with the what is it? He goes, can it with the Uncle Tom routine. I was like, Jesus. Like,
Right.
but in the context of it, it's like, oh, okay, I see. Like, that's a vampire thing. Not like, I'd love it if he's like, what did you say to me? He's like, no. I don't mean that racially. I mean that as a vampire. Deacon Frost, all these mics come out and he has to like explain himself. He's like that would be fucking great. Deacon Frost has been fired from the vampire board.
Oh, dude. One thing I forgot as well was that Deacon Frost bit Blade's mum, which assisted in him becoming the Daywalker. I totally forgot about that. I thought we
I
just
did
never found out. Yeah, like if this is some like Jack Napier made Batman kind of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like from the 89. I don't know. I don't know if this is like how it went in the comics, like whether Deacon Frost was
I don't know. I have never even seen a Blade comic, to be honest. I've never even laid eyes on one.
Yeah. Also, dude, sorry, it's on my screen right now, so I gotta talk about it. There is some clear like Ninja Turtles, like I'm going to like wait.
Oh,
I'm gonna wait for my turn. I'm gonna wait for my turn to attack you kind of bullshit at the end of this movie, dude. It's crazy.
When they're fighting and like with all the pages of the vampire Bible around them, at one point, I think it's because Wesley Snipes is so fast. He's like, and it like waits a second, like you can see him look at the dude like, come on, and the guy finally starts, and Wesley Snipes, because he's obviously a real life, I think everybody knows by now, he beat the fuck out of a lot of people. Like Wesley Snipes is probably pretty dangerous.
That story of the filmmakers having to tell him to slow down his kick was from Demolition Man, right? Like, because I think he does a kick and like it just doesn't register on camera because it's so quick. So the filmmakers, or whoever, I can't remember who directed Demolition Man, but they had to tell him to slow down this kick because it just didn't register on camera, which is wild.
Yeah, because the only other person I've heard that about was Bruce Lee with the Green Hornet, the TV show back in the day. That Bruce Lee, because those cameras he was so unbelievably fast, and then the cameras were so bad. But yeah, it's like you could barely catch Wesley Snipes like kicking somebody sometimes. You're like, yeah, he probably had to dumb it down like pretty bad. But I think that, once the movie gets its like rhythm and it gets going, like it's tight. It's a good, for a 2-hour movie, like it tells a pretty, God, how many times does Quinn show up? Like he fucks him up at the beginning.
The running joke with his arm, with his hand.
Yeah, he cuts his arm off like 3 times, and then finally at the end, when he's like, "I got something," he comes in, just cuts his head off right away, and I was like, "That's fucking great," because it's like comedy kind of. I think he cuts his arm off at the club. He cuts it off again, and then he runs away at the subway. And then the third time he sees him, he just cuts his head off, and like comedy comes in threes. That's great. That's fucking hilarious. And the whole thing.
Also, we get a throat rip in this movie, which is great. Nice little throat rip.
Which part? I'm blanking.
At the end when he's going up against the all the guys in the little in the cavern.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
He does a quick throat rip and he throws the throat at someone else, and I'm just like, damn. Like,
he does a quick like Roadhouse. Rips the guy's throat out.
I'm just like, damn.
He rips the guy's throat out. He's like, Roadhouse. But yeah, like it's a fun movie. I think that visually it has a lot to offer. Story wise, like it's fine. I'm not expecting something crazy from a movie like this at this kind of time period. To not only is it this movie, like, yeah, it's not perfect, but it's very entertaining. It made a lot of money. It's comic book accurate, I guess, for the most part. It has I think it has like for having basically 2 black leads for him and Karen. I think it does that without pandering, and it does that without making it like a huge. It's just a movie that has 2 black leads that just so happens to be a damn good movie. It's not like about it. I think is interesting because I feel like, and I feel like you can tell when like companies do that as like a strategy and it feels disingenuous, and I'm like, I don't like that, but I like it when it just feels very natural to to the character, and it's been fun to talk about this and dive into it, because I haven't seen, I mean, I don't know if I ever even finished the third one. I haven't seen the second one in years. Like, it's been a long time. But
Quick question before we do close it out. Do you know about the alternate ending of this movie?
The one with Morbius.
So yeah, like the one with Morbius, and where Deacon Frost basically transforms into a giant fucking blood tornado, and like
Yes.
yeah, like they did it with like in front of a studio test audience, and like they just fucking burst out laughing, dude. And then yeah, like they realized that they need a new ending, and they did the sword fight. But yeah, like Morbius was at the end of this movie, which makes total sense because, you know, like Blade, vampire, Morbius, vampire.
Right.
And do you know who's going to play Morbius?
No, because I know that I think it's Stephen Norrington, and that pops up
the director,
like the guy. Yeah, I don't know who was actually going to play him though.
Oh well, that was my trivia. It was supposed to be. I think it was going to be Stephen. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Stephen Norrington, by the way, also directed a very maligned movie that I kind of like, dude. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, like
it's fun, man.
Yeah, it's like I that is one of the movies that I definitely put on sometimes to go to sleep. It's like Leave with the war as 1912, you know, and it's like, okay, that's cool.
It led to Sean Connery's retirement.
Yeah, which sucks because like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is another one of those. Like, that should have been like a Hellboy. Like, it's just like a year before Hellboy. You know, like that weird. Like stuff like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and Hellboy walked, so like Suicide Squad and Doom Patrol could run, kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, and look how great those are now. Like, those are really, really good IPs. What's funny is I knew about the Morbius like ending, but no, I'm actually watching the Blood Tornado now, and it's like, yeah, for one thing, it looks terrible because it's not really like rendered. That's definitely like Spawn levels of like animation. But the thing that it ultimately kind of reminded me of that I never brought up was the fact of like how much this feels like Thomas Jane Punisher. Like, why was this not like a crossover, dude? Like the Punisher and Blade.
Which is my nomination for our next bonus, by the way.
I'm down. Danny would love to be on that. I know he loves that movie.
Let's tear it up.
Yeah, it's like these two movies feel very, very like similar as well. Jesus Christ, this blood tornado scene has been going on the entire time we've been talking. That is way too fucking long. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is terrible. Thank God they redid that, because Kevin Bacon Jr. is pissing me off. But anyways, let's wrap up. Let's get out of here. You got anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Look, man, maybe I'm being too harsh on this movie. Like I said, I can absolutely see how people fell in love with this movie. I mean, like it really pioneered so much of what Marvel ended up becoming, and what the superhero genre ended up becoming. And it saved Marvel from bankruptcy. Like just how big of a hit it was. Like it was that time of like, yeah, Stan Lee's selling off all these characters, selling off Spider-Man, selling off the Fantastic Four, selling off X-Men to make a buck, to keep Marvel afloat. And Blade ended up sort of saving them. I mean, like it was a big hit. So like, if we have Blade to thank for us getting to Infinity War / Endgame, then fuck yeah, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like and I know that there are like cinema like purists out there who are like, oh, the MCU destroyed cinema. No, it didn't. Watch more movies. But like,
right.
I'm so grateful for what this movie is. I really want to see this character back on screen, very, very much like this, but we'll never get anything like this again. Like, as we talked about, we won't see this kind of filmmaking again related to Blade. It won't be this raw shot on film kind of like thing. Like, it'll be a glossy highly produced Marvel production, and that is a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. But I do want to see Blade back on screen. I think Wesley Snipes was just the guy. You know, he was just like, people talk about like how Hugh Jackman and Robert Downey Jr. were so well cast for their roles, and no one talks about Wesley Snipes as Blade, man. Like he was just
Right.
he's got the charm immediately from that first scene, and he's got the athleticism, he's got the combat down. Like he looks awesome in the glasses, he looks awesome in the jacket, which by the way, I don't think was a huge thing in the comics. Like I think that's kind of what they brought to this character in this movie. So I think like you can really see Wesley Snipes' commitment come through in the final film, and this kicked off David Goya's career as well. David Goya would go on to direct Blade Trinity, which was not great, but I mean, at least David Goya ended up giving us The Dark Knight, so like it ended up fine for him. I think this movie has a lot of problems. I think the first half is like incredible, and then it just sort of goes off a bit of a cliff, but that is what it is. But the final fight scene where Blade's just kind of like unleashed is pretty great.
I enjoyed it more than I remembered really enjoying it. Like the second half, even though it's not as good as the first, it's still fine. Like there's nothing like I really have to complain about with the second half of this movie. It's just the first half is so damn good that like to see the story kind of evolve, you get put into a hole, and then it's like, okay, yeah, there's only so many ways the story can go now. And I love what they actually ended with of him in like Russia, like fighting Russian vampires.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. That's dope. Like I actually prefer that to ever even like, because even I would have struggled as a kid to be like, that's Morbius. Like that's not what Morbius looks like to me. And in the IP and stuff. So I'm glad that we talked about it. I've enjoyed like dipping back into this, because especially now that there's like, we just talked about like Fantastic Four and Superman's now coming to stream, so I'll probably watch that. I think it's going to be out in like 2 days on HBO, which I almost rented it, and it was like $20 to rent. I was like, kiss my ass, I'm not fucking renting this thing for $20, and to buy it was like $35.
It's fucking ridiculous. I did the same thing yesterday because I wanted to buy F1. And I noticed that like F1 was like $30 to buy, and like rent it was like $25. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna buy this motherfucker, dude. By the way, F1, great fucking movie.
I'll have to check that out. But that's going to be out for us. That's going to be it from us, guys. We've enjoyed talking about this. Hopefully soon we'll be back with some more old school MCU, New Line Cinema. Marvel's going bankrupt, so let's sell all the assets type thing. And hopefully we can get Danny on here. But we hope you enjoyed the episode. As always, thank you guys for supporting us. Check out our Breaking Bad podcast, Bad Crystal, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye.